Thank you for being here. Before we look at the data and the charts and the cold statistics of domestic violence, I want to tell you why this information is personal to me. For a very long time, I didn't call it domestic violence. I called it a complicated relationship or bad luck, or honestly, most of the time, I called it my fault. I spent years feeling like I was walking on eggshells, believing that if I could just say or do the right thing, the anger would stop, and that if I just loved him enough, then it would all get better. The shame and confusion that came with abuse are crushing. It's hard to identify a problem when the person you love is also the source of your fear. But the turning point for me, the moment I started to reclaim my own life, was when I saw the pattern. I realized the behaviors were following a recognizable cycle that had plagued my family for generations, and the small, seemingly isolated events were actually a piece of a larger structure of power and control. I'm not a professional counselor or a clinical expert. I'm a survivor of this dynamic. And my promise to you today is simple. Every chart, every red flag, and every resource we discuss is based on a map I wished I'd had when I was lost. We are here to trade confusion for clarity so that you or someone you love never has to look back and say, I wish I had known. Let me make something clear. When I say you're not alone, I mean it. Domestic violence affects millions of people. My focus is primarily on women and children, but abuse does not discriminate. Domestic violence is not always visible to the outsider, and not everyone who is abused carries their scars on their face. Some hide it well, and some suffer from emotional and verbal abuse. But make no mistake at all types of abuse are damaging and dangerous. What might be easily explained as having a bad day or didn't mean it can turn into a life-threatening situation. Knowing the red flags and what to do or where to go are vital in surviving. The core dynamic, power and control. Abuse is not random. It is usually calculated tactics to create dependency and fear. This includes isolation, severing the victim's ties to friends and family and support networks so that they do not try to leave. Emotional and verbal abuse, the constant criticism, humiliation, and validating the victim's feelings, making them believe that they are crazy. I hear that so much. Economic abuse, controlling all the finances and preventing employment or restricting them to the necessary funds they need to leave. Minimizing and denying and blaming, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions and making the victim believe that it's all their fault. These are all tactics, these are all power control that can be used in a domestic violence situation. Many of us confuse jealousy with intense love, but here it's about ownership. If a partner constantly accuses you of cheating without cause or checks your phone, that's a major red flag. This behavior isn't romantic, it's just the first step towards control over your life. Controlling behavior. This manifests as micromanagement. They dictate what you wear, who you talk to, or even how you spend your free time. This slowly erodes your sense of autonomy and self-worth. If you feel like you need permission to make basic life choices, that's a problem. Isolation from support. This is the abuser's most effective tool. They create drama between you and your friends or family until you feel like they are your only source of support. Once you're isolated, their control is nearly absolute, and your perspective on the abuse is compromised. Constant criticism. Abuse isn't always shouting. It can be a slow, steady stream of comments that make you feel worthless or incompetent. This is often called gaslighting, making you doubt your own sanity, memory, and perception of reality. Unpredictable mood swings. The shift from intense rage to being apologetic and loving is confusing and terrifying. This keeps the victims walking on eggshells, constantly trying to predict and manage the abuser's mood. It's a deliberate tactic to maintain instability. Zero accountability. Abusers rarely take responsibility. Their mantra is always, "You made me do it. I only yelled at you because." This is crucial. The abuser's actions are their choice, and the victim is never to blame for being abused. Controlling finances. Financial abuse is about limiting options. If you can't access money, you can't leave. Controlling the ability to work, open a bank account, or see statements is a massive barrier to independent safety. These red flags are very important. If you're experiencing any of these things, please reach out to any of the numbers in this video or on my website. The cycle of abuse is what makes leaving so difficult. The reconciliation phase, or the honeymoon phase, often reinforces the victim to believe that the abuse will stop and things will return to normal. This is a constant shift between extreme fear and extreme affection. It's a form of psychological control that traps the victim.